Okay, here's the new Smithy Crew project boat. Finally finished, up to a fishing stage. Just put the new second-hand Dunbier trailer under it, so we'll just give you guys a walkthrough on what we've done to it. Came with a Viper winch, which was a handy feature, and we just put a 6 kilo Sav winch onto it with a sliding system, because it just had a little normal Danforth anchor there. So that was one modification. Incorporated a turnbuckle here into the winch system for safety. Spare wheel and wheel carrier. Tectile trailer we got second hand. I'm going to give it another coat of Tectile shortly. Got new mags, new tyres, brakes, bearings, everything pretty good condition. We'll have to change out just gal nuts and bolts here on the ladder. 2015 100 horsepower Mercury. Got the trim tabs operational again, just the trim tab pump. We've got the LSS Lowrance multi-scan transducer and the little Garmin multi-scan transducer. Put the LZ Lazarus hydrofoils on it, which I'm a big fan of for doing low speed planing. Reduced the propeller down to a 17 pitch 4 blade, but it's a Pandora high strength aluminium, so got the benefits of stainless, as in less blade flex, so you get more power to the ground but less weight, less momentum, like stainless spinning around being so heavy. Yes, it's strong, but it then also can break big gearboxes and stuff with all that momentum. So high strength aluminium's sort of the way of the future, especially knowing Steve, you know, he's only about 4 big blocks down the road at Propeller Warehouse. So drilled a hole in the trim tab and mounted a shoot through bilge pump pickup, so that's my pickup for the live bait tank. So put in a new inlet and a couple of outlets there, so that's just straight into that live well. I blew an olive the other day on the hydraulic steering there, so that's a new olive. Had to get the burley bucket, had the bracket. These straps were only like $17 or something at Bunnings the other day. Couldn't help myself, as 2.5 ton rating. A few new skin fittings here for all the outlets, and then I don't think any of them had been sickered and none had hose clamps, so I've gone through and done all that. Yeah, new mags, the plastic mud guards, which is probably a good feature, you're never going to rust. Had to extend the legs on this stainless bait board, so it's got 4 good rod holders, knife holder, plier holder, stubby holder. Outrigger bases, once again Steve down at Propeller Warehouse. Yeah, pretty cheap, couldn't complain about the price. Just got this rocket launcher back from my mate Perry, and all of the rocket launcher pots had cracked off other than the 2 outside ones, so we've put 8 in the middle. Redid the aerial bases, so now I've got 2 8-foot Pacifics, so one's VHF and one is my phone. So my phone is the last remaining phone that still has an aerial jack in the back, ZTE Telstra brand tradie smartphone, essentially running an Android operating system. So yeah, with an 8-footer up the top of the top of the target bar, yeah, that should give me great range. Pretty handy little set of clears and bimini. Had to clip it all apart to take the rocket launcher off, and that came off pretty good. It's a pivoting one if you ever, you know, had a garage or whatever. Yeah, it's got the pivots there, so that's worked quite well and went back together pretty well. I'll crawl up into the boat now and show you what we've done, which is pretty extensive. Everything, got rid of a lot of gal nuts and bolts and screws. I tried to go stainless, a little mini rewire. Dash is a bit dodgy, but I'll do a big dash upgrade down the track one day. Main switch panels on the right, had to rejig it all to make things look better and fit better. Trim tabs there just to the left of it, that's a 9-inch Lowrance Elite TI auto bilge pump switch, and put the Viper winch controls down here. Little Garmin unit which I'll run as my sounder and run the Lowrance as a plotter. Ritchie compass, full zip out. It's a bit faded, but I'm probably going to drive sitting down through the windscreen, so it's not bothering too much me too much. There's the Mercury controls, bases. Upgraded the rod holders from plastic to their Relax 50-pound class, 30-degree angle, good rod holders for heavy tackle or electric reels or whatever. Canon downrigger mount, just cheap stainless mounts there. Redid the whole battery compartment, put hatch seal tape in and a washer here to try and waterproof it so that no water could get in. Had to buy one new Century Marine Pro battery. Shouted at all new cables other than the main engine loom. Changed that position of the battery's isolator switch so it's easy to get to, hopefully waterproof. Sickered the crap out of everything and Vaselined all the terminals. Changed, that's the breather, got the breather up higher, changed it to an Atwood one. Fuel tank breathers, in my experience on trail boats, have always been problematic. Redid the shelf that the batteries sit on, and they're only 600 size batteries, so it's quite a bit of room. It's pretty good. Put the strap in, so they're both strapped in. It's a bit fiddly in there, but yeah, that's worked out quite well. New little latch here. Had to make a new starboard splash well setup, so that's actually got a welded little I forget what you call them, barrel. It's welded up so it drops in, and then 2 ocky straps to do it. Live bait tank this side, teaser in there. Changed the configuration of that was its inlet, but and then the hoses just ran through the transom, so I've changed all that, replumbed it, put hose clamps on everything. There's a view of that big bait board. Couldn't get those little rod holders off the side, so we'll make use of them. Good condition side pockets, good condition chairs, pretty good. It's only a small fuel tank, so that's like a storage compartment there in the middle. So if down the track you could always go bigger fuel tank, I guess. Yeah, good little parcel shelves on the side. New EPIRB safety grab bag, first aid kit, tool kit, fire extinguisher was fine from factory. I think got life jackets under the bunk there. Bought a new porta potty for in the central compartment. Let's get inside. GME VHF over there, and my aerial lead coming out there. New little radio that I use off eBay for, you put USB sticks or SD cards in, or an aerial, and only running 2 speakers, port and starboard. Had to change the port one. That's like a Bluetooth USB setup, back end of the 3-way bilge pump switch. Nice little fluoro for cabin light. Garmin wiring. Had to, you got, you know, extra storage, porta potty stuff, jiggle siphon. Had to redo the battery cables for the winch. They weren't up to spec, I wouldn't have thought. There's all your mounting hardware for the winch in the ankle locker. No cabin lining, no monkey fur, but you know, here we are in October. It's pretty hot and it's quite comfy in here. You know, folding net, blah blah blah, little bean bag, and yeah, this spent a fair bit of time doing this. Bit of a mini rewire. It's not the best job ever, but needed a negative bus bar over there and then get all those switches across to that bus bar. Redo the ankle winch stuff. It was never up to spec. Changed the position, everything. Got the trim tabs operational again. So used trailer loom there for the colours. So I think it's like seven wire loom. Anyway, got the trim tabs going again. There's the main Mercury switch up the top, or gauge, but if you illuminate the nav lights, it lights up most of the old dials there. Lowrance is, yeah, dodgy fit up by the prior owner, but anyway, it's going to do for the time being. Hydraulic steering, so that was a bonus. Had lots of fruit on it, this boat, for the price. I just couldn't pass it up. I guess you could always make a clip-in cover panel. It's got all the little press snip fittings for you know, a nice cover there, so that you know, you can't accidentally arc any power, or just to keep it all tidy. But anyway, it's nice and easy to get to everything, and it's a bit more well laid out, I think now. Little tiny, put a little fuse panel down here, which it never really had. It just sort of had all inline fuses. Yeah, so here's looking back. Actually, I might look down into bilge next. So this is going to be a pretty handy little boat. It's little trips away when it's windy to fish on charter is the thinking, or you know, you definitely get calmer weather north in northerlies and calmer weather to the south in southerlies than what we get at the sunny coast. So scope to duck down the Gold Coast or duck up the Hervey Bay in Bundaberg, 1770, whatever, and see how it pans out. We'll go back to the back. Actually, I might just quickly run through what's on the switches. So we got nav lights, ankle light, side lights, so it's got like internal cabin lights, transom lights, so like squid lights, then the bilge pump one, so that's the actual manual bilge pump in the bilge, and then bait pump, which is the pickup one, which I went through before. It's come down into the bilge system. So yeah, stainless rod holders instead of the plastic ones here in the splash well, to support the bait board. Replumbed it all, put in an auto bilge down there, so that's the two hoses, and then their hose clamp to the skin fittings. Breather for the fuel, primer pump for the fuel, and primary Raycor fuel pump. It's a pretty good little setup, the Haines. It's actually got sleeping room that I can lay out in, and then you can slide buckets in under the transom like that, which is always handy. These flexible buckets are great. Don't have a deck wash, but I reckon those flexible buckets do a lot more work quicker. Oh, there's the pump for the trim tabs, so it's a bit fiddly. I had to change the diameter of the hoses, so tripped to Pertec, and a few dollars later they're all operational. Up the rocket launcher, had to rewire the white light. Got all the 10-ob inserts for the rod holders. That's the Pacific 8-foot for phone, and Pacific for VHF. There she is. Alright guys, well, I might sign out at that. Thanks for watching.